Hey everyone, welcome to the Marketing Companion. And boy, what a show we're going to have for you today. Yeah, we're in a position where we're abdicating a lot of our decision making to AI. And what does that mean for marketers? When the AI is making decisions for the customer, the AI becomes the customer. We're going to talk about that today with my great friend, Andy Crestodina. And before we do, I want to remind you that for several years now, our show has been sponsored by Brevo, and we're just so happy about that. If you're feeling a little intimidated about AI and how AI is being used in marketing, check out Brevo. They've got a complete marketing suite for you. They're being very clever about how they're integrating AI into all their tools. You've got nothing to lose. You can check it out for free by going to brevo.com/marketing companion. And if you do decide to show up, use the promo code companion to get 50% off the first 3 months. Now, I want to start off with a little announcement. I am days away from publishing a new book. And I know what you're thinking. My goodness, he just put out a new book. But a few years ago, Tom Peters told me the best books and the best speakers are successful because they're desperate to get their ideas out into the world. And I am desperate to get this idea out into the world. I was recently part of a research report that looked at how AI will change humanity by 2035. And it was an amazing report with experts weighing in from all over the world. And it made me think, if AI is changing humanity in profound ways, that means it's changing our customers. And if it's changing our customers, marketers better know about this. And that's what the book is about, how AI is changing your customers. So that'll be out very soon. Now, as I was doing research for this, I began thinking about some of my own behaviors. I recently had a trip to Paris. AI planned the whole itinerary. It told me where to stay, where to go, what the best visiting times were. It helped me get the tickets. It told me what transportation to use to get there, what restaurants to eat at that were nearby. And I sort of followed the plan. Now, that information has to be coming from somewhere. What are the AI signals informing these decisions? Well, that's what we're going to talk about with Andy Crestodina today. He's been working on this. I've been working on this, and we're gonna have a clash of the minds today to see where this goes. So, Andy, get us started here.
Thanks, Mark. Honored to be here. Love this topic.
Clash with me,
So
buddy. Clash.
I'm ready. Well, I've got to agree with you first because there is a change in how people are using the internet. I think of it in a way as like the internet just got an upgrade. There's like a new layer on top of the internet that we all use, like middleware, like that we all use now. Many people use now to do things that search couldn't do well, like plan a whole trip, or these long sort of multi-parameter searches like I want this and this and this and this. What do you recommend? Or to get in a recommendation and then take the next action. So if the internet made all marketing move farther down the funnel toward the actual decision, AI accelerates that and people are moving much farther down the funnel before making an actual decision. And your future buyer may be going to the web and saying to a chatbot like, create for me a buyer guide. Tell me all of the options. What are the strengths and weaknesses of these 6 competitors? Tell me the pros, cons, pricing, start dates, timelines, the best use cases, what this company believes, who works there, how long have they been around. So it changes the web because it changes how people use the web. I think there's fundamental things that don't change. People have I'm not sure that the decision criteria for what to do in Paris, or for what software to buy or for which agency to hire has fundamentally changed. It's shifting, but not as fast as the change in how people use the web. So yes, if that's true, how do we send the signals into the training data that makes us more likely to be recommended when people are researching our category, knowing that we're going to give up some control over the user's experience. They're going to spend more time talking to, AI. So our job now is to train AI to sort of be a sales rep for our brands by feeding it all of the important sales marketing messages. And and there's two ways to do that: on-site and off-site. And this is what I spend a ton of my time thinking about, working on, experimenting with, and researching. It's big.
But it sounds, I mean, well, at least part of it sounds very familiar. It sounds like
Sure.
content marketing, right? And
And
so I want to get into this little thing about on-site versus off-site.
mhm,
And, maybe a place to start is your reaction. Our friend Sarah Neely tipped me off to this research report from Muckrack, and it looked at a million different responses at AI, and it tried to figure out where is this stuff coming from.
mhm.
And it would kind of amaze me that that most of it is still coming from traditional sources of content. At least we would think about as traditional sources of content on the web. So I mean, I sent that to you. I mean,
Mhm.
is that a good place to start the discussion, or did you did you profoundly agree with it or disagree with it?
Well, I'm grateful that people are producing this kind of research and data. I think that they are biased in their analysis of the data because what they come back with and say that earned media is critical. And I don't disagree with that whatsoever. But they sort of gloss over the fact that on this giant pie chart, these million citations in AI responses, which, you know, thank you so much for doing this. They must have spent a ton of money on tokens and AI, prompts to get this data. It almost half of them are owned media, which is basically what they call websites, and corporate blogs and content,
Yeah.
which they define as people as you know brands that weren't directly asked about in the prompt.
And just
Therefore, we know
and
that this is like content marketing.
yeah, and let's just have a little definition here because I know we have a lot of students and young people listening to this show. Earned media versus owned media. So earned media would be something where you would be mentioned in the press, let's say. So that has high validation because someone is talking about you. It's like a vote for you. Own media is the content you're putting out there. So it could be a podcast, a video series, it could be a blog. So you go ahead. I didn't Go ahead, Andy. I didn't mean to
No, it's
interrupt.
important.
Yeah, yeah. There's
No,
just I know there's a lot of young people
yeah,
that listen to the show.
I don't want to discount the super important value pre and post AI with for earned media. I love that. I write guest posts. I'm super active. I jump on any PR opportunity I see. But what the data really shows is that AI is training on our websites. And step one is to be super explicit on your website about what you do, the services, the subservices, the outcomes, the stories, the people, the job descriptions of your buyer, like the job titles, I think is a big gap, the geographies in which you serve. If your site is still the best place to tell this story. You have unlimited space and time on your own domain. So that is a big part of it. Another is, I said, if people are doing buyer guides and you ask what are the pros and cons or strengths, weaknesses of these 6 providers, you can just look at that chart and say, oh, AI thinks I'm weak here, or AI thinks they're strong here. You want to address that? Publish. You have a site. You can answer those questions. Everyone has an opportunity to better train AI on how they make a difference because there's no barrier to entry to publishing. So that was the immediate takeaway: is that AI is largely heavily weighting corporate blogs and websites. That's how they know about us.
Well, this sort of reinforces something I've been saying for a long time, and I think is particularly relevant now. Is boy, you have just got to put your content everywhere that it can be found. The economic value of content that's not seen and shared is zero, and this gets emotional. And I can see from a creator standpoint, if you've written a book or you've created a work of art or a piece of music and it's been absorbed by AI, and you think that's illegal and that's immoral and I should be compensated for this or at least given credit for this, and you're not. Your content becomes part of the immortal glue that holds AI together. But how am I going to be seen? How am I going to be discovered if I'm not part of that mashup? And so, I mean, you got to let it go. I mean, it's a controversial idea. I can understand why people would be emotional about it. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, there are that conversation I think is best split up between different types of creators.
Mm,
Media companies, news sites, publishers. I think they have their problems continue and get worse.
yeah,
For marketers, these are basically opportunities, and you better hope that everything you've written gets ingested. You're trying to train the AI. You want AI to scan everything and read everything and ingest everything. So when the Cloudflare CEO said, this is
yes,
unfair.
yeah,
I'm going to block AI from websites. If you're a marketer now, you need to make sure that you're not blocking the bots,
right.
because let's say the visitors are already brand aware, or they did this big buyer guide and they've narrowed it down to you and two others. They ask AI about you next and look at the sources for that. It's training on your website. So blocking your marketing content from an AI bot is a lot like de-indexing yourself from Google, with a robots.txt file, no index. Like, I don't know why anybody would do that in marketing. Other creators, I'm totally sympathetic, and I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a Mark question. I'm not sure how to help them.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we need the press, right? And we need to protect these creatives. But from a marketing standpoint, I mean, I know it might sound counterintuitive, but you've just got to let it rip. I've already
That's right.
toggled Cloudflare to let the AI in,
Absolutely.
right? So now, as you've been thinking about this, Andy, what's different? What's different from the traditional content marketing strategy, blogs, podcast, video? Uh, how do we influence these AI signals? Uh, and how do we meet this new challenge?
Well, we already sort of said, like, having exquisite detail about what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, what the outcomes are on your site is the foundation. Anyone can do that anytime. But what's different, I think, is the offsite publishing. If you want to train AI to recommend your brand, you need the biggest digital footprint you can have. So you want to be everywhere, just like you said. First of all, directory inclusion. Secondly, review sites, trade publications, associations, anywhere that you can put a mention of your brand. But I'm part of a lot of SEO communities. Unlike the SEO era, and we're still in it now, Google's still 300 times more popular than AI for getting answers. In SEO, you wanted links. We don't believe that AI cares about that.
Mm,
We believe that what AI cares about is the co-occurrence of your brand's name near the related industry terms.
mm,
So when it says, it doesn't just say Mark Schaefer with a link to your website, that might be good for traditional search. But
mm.
Mark Schaefer, best-selling author, public speaker, all-star keynote presenter, you want those words to be next to Mark Schaefer because AI works on this massive probability matrix. And
You forgot underwear model.
underwear, if Mark Schaefer and underwear model
That's
appear many
usually
times,
where it goes. It's usually where it goes these
well,
days.
it sounds silly, but let's say we wanted to train AI to
No,
recommend
let's nip
you as
that
an
in the
underwear
bud.
model.
No, 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 don't go there. Let's change the subject.
whatever the business category,
Yeah,
co-occurrence of industry terms near the brand likely
that's
matter.
fascinating.
Yeah, and also it probably doesn't matter. We don't have evidence that AI is much more heavily weighting high authority websites, media sites. It's sort of unknown. So where SEOs would care about links and care about links specifically from high authority websites, AI is eating everything.
Yeah.
So I was just in the Springfield News. It's like a downstate publisher here in Illinois.
Mm,
Great. Love
mm,
it. All of it.
yeah.
Podcast transcriptions, YouTube transcriptions, I think anything that AI can train on
Yeah.
is fair game for looking for those branded and industry co-occurrent terms.
Yeah, it hints at something very interesting that, and this is something I'm gonna struggle with is that, like, I don't write for the bots.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not I just can't. I'm writing for humans. That's the
Sure.
great intellectual challenge for me. But AI, um, is voracious, and it doesn't get tired, and it doesn't get bored, and it doesn't care about the beauty of your writing, right? So, I mean, that's gonna be a struggle for me, is to sort of, it's basically, it's kind of like, shock and awe, right? I mean, just get it out there everywhere.
Well, this also reminds me of search. It, it's we shouldn't overinvest in this channel, and good writing and community and
Mm,
audacity and
mm.
marketing foundations still are the basis, right? There's more to life that much more of your traffic and your brand awareness comes from
Yeah.
other sources. So I would not sacrifice or abdicate anything that you're doing for good marketing 101. But yeah, uh, it, it's the PR thing. Make friends or make news. So if you don't have to necessarily, uh, you know, write for AI now, I'm not sure
Mhm.
that's really the message here.
Yeah.
But collaborate, participate, look for inclusion.
Yeah.
Don't be opportunistic if there's a chance, to put those words in there. If you're on a podcast that's going to be transcribed, give your elevator pitch. Because this is just go do good marketing, and now you have
Mhm.
this slightly different angle where you're kind of looking for this one, extra piece. It's that 5% at the end, I think, that will make these brands give them a durable advantage in this new channel.
I want to go back to my Paris story because I didn't follow the itinerary exactly.
Mhm.
And I think that's an important idea in this world of marketing. So, first of all, um, there was so the prompt I put in, I said, look, I love history, I love art, I love nature, create this itinerary. But what it didn't know is that I really loved Monet. And there is a small Monet museum. And so that's a brand that I love. So I overrode AI to pursue something that I knew and I loved. There was another departure. So I have a friend that lives in France, and like me, she has celiac disease. So she has to eat gluten free. So she saw I was going to Paris and she said, "Oh, go to this bakery." And, I trust her, I trust her judgment. So here we have the other override, it's word of mouth.
Mhm.
That the human input, the human signal, that's the override. We have to look at the whole decision making process. That, yes, we've got to feed AI in all these ways you've been talking about, but that's not the whole decision making process. We're still going to love a brand because it means something to us. We're going to think of a brand because we experienced something with that brand. We're going to we're going to consume. I mean, AI might recommend,
Mhm.
but when a human says something, we act because that's the best. I mean, that's what I'm going to listen to above anything. So it's the we that's, I think, one of the challenges is that we are going to get, maybe we already are, so intoxicated with trying to figure out this formula and to embed ourselves in these algorithms that we're going to forget the big picture of marketing. That there are, yep, we got to be there. Yep, we got to have content. But we also need to work on the overrides. And the
Mhm.
overrides are the irrational things because we love something. We have an experience with something. We trust another person. This is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite brand. This
Mm-hmm.
is, I want to go there because that's where I went on my birthday. That's where I went with my dad, right? It's the emotion, it's the irrational things where we create meaning in people's lives. And so we can't overlook that.
Yeah. Three things I have thoughts on that. One is I'd like to travel with you because history, art, and nature, I'm in. Number two, Monet as a brand. Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't think of it that
Hell
way.
yeah, absolutely.
And third point, word of mouth and good marketing brand make big tech irrelevant. You short-circuited the internet. It's disintermediation.
Yes,
People only go to the web when they don't have a top-of-mind provider.
yeah.
I got a great lead on Friday. I talked to this guy 20 times over 4 years. It's like he knew everything about what we do. He
Mm,
needed what we do. He contacted me directly. He's not doing a bunch of online. People only go to the web if they have no top of mind provider, if they didn't
mm,
get a good referral.
mm,
So these are, uh, AI is sort of another word, another mouth in word of mouth. I think AI is properly
yeah,
thought of as a type of word of mouth in a way.
yeah,
But good marketing is disintermediation and helps you avoid that insanely competitive context of the internet. Now, if they did go through that and they did think they did have confidence and you trusted your AI generated itinerary, or the user loved the buyer guide and thought that it had it generate and thought that I'm a good provider, you end up with leads that are much more likely to convert or ready to buy. Conversion rates from AI are very good because people are having this big conversation with AI and they feel like it's going to make good recommendations because they gave it 65 criteria. Uh, so it is a new channel that has pulled the buyer farther down the funnel where they are much more qualified as a lead and prospect. But I think that there's still that final step where you talk to a friend to get that advice or you contact the reps to get to ask your final questions. Nobody is ever going to buy what we do without looking at our site because it's design work. They want to see the portfolio. They're looking for a feeling. So
mm,
unless it's very transactional, I think there is absolutely still a final step at the bottom of the funnel where they uh, they're confident that you're a good option, but we still have to convert and close.
yeah. Especially when the stakes get higher. You know, as you were speaking, I was thinking about uh, this trip to Paris. I just stayed at this hotel because I really don't care. But if my wife was with me, I would probably make a different decision. Same with the restaurants. So I mean,
Lots of tabs,
the
11 tabs.
emotional the emotional stakes, yeah, lots of tabs open. The emotional stakes are
Hmm.
higher. And I think one of the things I want to kind of tie a ribbon on here is I addressed this idea of 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 word of mouth marketing quite a lot in the book Audacious. And the reason is we're thinking about where do humans thrive and persist in this marketing world. And word of mouth marketing, AI can't touch that, right? It's just like you said. Some friend called you up
Hmm.
because he knew you and he trusted you. It's about
Hmm.
relationships. So we can't lose sight of that. And we probably will because that's what happens, right? People get consumed with SEO and content marketing and social media marketing, and they forget the holistic approach.
Hmm.
I told a story recently about this young guy called me up, and he was in a business. He just got out of school, and he was a marketing director for a company that made ladders. And he called me up and he said, "Oh, Mr. Schaefer, could I just have a quick call with you?" He said, "I'm really struggling. I don't know how to create a brand community around our ladders." And I said, "Well, if I bought a ladder, I would just want to be left alone. I don't need any community. Have you gone out and talked to your customers, the big stores that are buying these ladders,
Hmm.
to see what's keeping them up at night? Why do they love your ladders? Why do their customers love your ladders? What do they hate about your competitors?" He said, "No, I've never been out to talk to a customer." I said, "Well, go tell your boss, For the next 2 weeks, you're going to go sit on those trucks, those delivery trucks, and you're going to listen to your customers. And then we'll have something better to talk about. So, we can't lose sight of the basics, of the holistic view of marketing. And I know that's going to happen in this AI era.
Yeah, I think that's just if you don't know why your buyer makes decisions, if you don't know the decision criteria, what questions they must have answered, what objections they must have addressed, which proof points are compelling and persuasive, what is the true meaning of your brand in their world, you've got bigger problems. You need to know that. I would definitely sit on that truck if I were him. Uh, the other thing, though, I think I agree. People, marketers sometimes just drink all the Kool-Aid and shiny out. They
Yeah.
over-index on a new channel. But I've got a strange challenge. I've never written about this. I might try. I might take it on. Here's my challenge for digital marketers. Think of 10 ways to increase direct traffic. It's a weird idea, right? Like, is that a channel? Like, that's just unattributable traffic. Yeah, it's called marketing. Just go do good marketing. What's your outdoor strategy? What's your word of mouth strategy? What's your referral? What's your community? What's your
Yeah.
think of the things that will increase direct traffic?
Mhm.
PR, thought leadership, create
Yeah.
buzz. That is, I've never heard a marketer ask that question, but if you try to answer it, I think you might be on a good path to future proof yourself in this era because actually those are also the things that indirectly can increase your visibility in AI responses.
Yeah. As you were talking about um, the outside sources, the adjacent sources. I mean, this could also be just a golden era for PR. We didn't really talk
Oh yeah.
about that today. So, as we wind down our time here, Andy, first I just so appreciate you, and it's always so great to share in your wisdom. What are the one, two, or three things you're doing to prepare your business for this AI era and to be discovered and found?
Well, AI creates a great opportunity for us as a web development company because if you build a synthetic member of a target audience, get an AI persona, work hard on it, fix it, improve it, make sure it's accurate, and then run simulations of the visit, sort of giving it to this, give your pages to this synthetic member of the target audience, and ask it what's missing. Ask it which questions you didn't answer, which objections you didn't address, which assertions you didn't support. You'll get ideas. It's not the law. These aren't rules, but look at it. So I think it's an opportunity for us to push performance for our clients. Uh, and also, I think it's really just a moment of pause where we have to think about what is the future of our category, what is the future of the web, what is the future of our buyers, uh, and it's really disruption and opportunity are sort of the same in a way. It's just a question of how
Absolutely.
prepared you are. Yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
preparation question.
Yeah.
So it's a cultural moment for Orbit Media where we have to look at our team and address the anxiety, and then sort of make the turn. But the future is, I think, bright because ask any LLM about any brand, and it's going to just tell you it read everything on their website. I don't think we can skip this. The platform you own, the owned media piece, and also for content marketing.
Mm,
So
mhm.
the channel changed, but the foundations, in many ways, have not.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're somewhat well positioned for it, but also I'm not. Uh, I'm also just hanging on for the ride, same as the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And, I see so many of let's just, as a shortcut, kind of call them like new age media creators, don't have websites at all. Um, I saw one creator has a website. This is what it says. Here's the link to YouTube. But I think for most of us, the website still plays a really important role. And I want to encourage all of our listeners. I mean, Andy has introduced a lot of profound ideas here, something like the synthetic persona. Go to his blog, subscribe to Orbit Media. He gives away all these ideas, he teaches you how to do it. So if Andy has challenged you today with provocative ideas, go to Orbit Media, check Andy and his work out. I mean, because he'll teach you how to do this. He's
Thanks, Mark.
yeah, he's a great generous intellect and thought leader in this space. So thanks everyone for joining us on the Marketing Companion. And we will see you next time as this whole debate about AI and our response to it continues to evolve.